impressive performance from Deiveson Figueiredo in the main event. Just wanted to get your thoughts on kind of his performance tonight and this emerging force as a dominant flyweight champion.
Yeah, he looked incredible tonight. He's fun to watch. He can knock you out. He can submit you. And the guy's he's got that meanness to him. When he comes into fight, you know, he's fun.
Yeah. It's funny, right? Because the flyweight division was the one that was always hard to market. Do you feel like this guy's simple to market? I mean, he's out there, the god of war, out there trying to just crush people?
Yeah, I mean, you never know what people, if you don't like this guy, stop watching fights. You need to find a new hobby if you don't like watching him.
Unique position tonight because Brandon Moreno, it seemed like kind of a de facto #1 contender fight with Royval. He wins. He says he wants the champ. Deiveson says, I want Moreno. So is that done deal? I mean, is that the right fight?
We're going to keep him here. He's not going back to Brazil. We're going to turn him right around.
Really? How fast do you think that'll happen?
December.
Wow. That fight right there will happen sometime in December?
Yeah. That's what we're working on.
Very cool.
Do you have a prediction for Brandon Moreno for a 1 round or submission or knockout?
Bom, olhando fisicamente para o Brandon Moreno,
you know, I think I'm gonna destroy him. If I touch him, I'm gonna put him in like I'm gonna break him just in touching him. Because Brandon Moreno talk a lot of bad things about him. And they have a personal problem with the Brandon Moreno. And he think he's gonna destroy Brandon Moreno in December. But he wanna the boss show the desire to see this fight.
How do you feel like when you look at her and Amanda, do you think it makes sense to put them together again at some point, given how close their 2 fights were and what she's doing in her division?
Well, let's talk about Jessica Andrade first. I mean, Andrade is a very, very good fight for her. That's a tough fight. I mean, if you're going to go out and be safe the first couple of rounds against somebody, you know, like Jennifer, what are you going to do against Andrade? Andrade is going to bring her a lot of things she's never seen before. Not to mention the power that Andrade has. I mean, she just knocked a girl out, a really good girl, like the number 2 girl in the world with a body shot. She's a real problem for Shevchenko that she's going to have to figure out. And if she does, I think the fight that makes more sense is Weili Zhang will fight here soon. And after Weili fights, that maybe you do those two.
Dana was here earlier, and he said he likes the idea of Jessica Andrade for you next, that that's a fight that he believes makes sense. Do you feel the same, that that's the right next challenger?
You know, every time, like, I don't choose my opponents. Whoever will gonna be like in front of me, I'm gonna face. So for me, it doesn't do any difference. Andrade or something else, someone else, or whoever. I think like. It would be fair to have Andrade against Lauren Murphy, because Lauren Murphy, she showed her strengths and she has a lot of wins, like straight wins. So, but the question, if I want to wait that much, I don't want to wait that much, because I was waiting a lot already, and I'm not agreed to wait more, because their fights and they have to recover, and it's gonna be a few months from here, and I'm ready to go back to the octagon as soon as I feel good, and I feel good.
Shogun Rua, obviously a legend of the sport, but it looked a little bit flat tonight. He's kind of talked about the end being near, that sort of thing. Have you had a chance to discuss them at all?
No, but I hope it is. I hope that tonight was his last night. I would like to see him retire.
But what about Paul Craig? He looks very impressive. He made Shogun tap to strikes, which I'm sure no one thought would happen. So what do you go with him moving forward?
Yeah, no, he looked good, and not to take anything away from him at all. You know, he came in and did what he had to do tonight. But just being honest, Shogun didn't look like Shogun to me tonight. Shogun looked old and looked like a shell of his former self tonight. So, yeah, I'd like to see him hang it up, hopefully.
You were talking about Shogun. What's the next step? Are you going to ask him to retire? Are you going to talk to him? How many fights does he still have?
Yeah, I think he has 2 fights left on his deal. But yeah, I'd like to see him retire.
Is Anderson released from UFC, from his contract?
Yes, Anderson is released from his contract.
All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC's welterweight division, Platinum Mike Perry. 175 and a half, the official weight for Platinum Mike Perry.
With Mike Perry missing weight like this, I'm sure you've heard people talking about larger fines, a bigger percentage that the fighter that misses weight. What do you think about that? Might that be something that could be implemented?
Yeah, it's not up to me, though. That's up to the athletic commission.
You would support it, though, if they made it a larger
Sure,
fine.
they can do whatever they want.
Starting on your right side, forehead. I just got some cryo done, guys. I'm still a little swollen, but definitely getting better, getting my eye open a little bit more. Jumped in the machine and did some local, but these guys over here at Savage 3, I appreciate them. Came in, they opened it up for me on a Sunday. I don't know if they do that for everybody, but I appreciate them doing it for me. They opened it up for me, came and took care of me, did some cryo, got the swelling down before I hit the road. So if you guys are in Vegas, check them out, okay, guys?
Tony Ferguson is fighting Charles Oliveira, so I was wondering what that meant for Michael Chandler, because it looked like him and Tony were potentially going to fight.
Yeah, well, he just cut weight. He had just cut the weight in Abu Dhabi, so he couldn't do it. So, you know how we do it. We roll, we make fights, and these fights will happen, and then we'll see what's next for Chandler.
Would a name like, so would you look at booking him against like Gaethje or maybe Dan Hooker, or what sort of
I don't
level
know. I mean, obviously those are the two guys that are left, but I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out.
Hey, modeling, the model from Belém do Pará. Olha pra cá, fica diferente.
Conor McGregor
agora. Conor McGregor, he learned with you.
Conor McGregor.
Olha pra cá, ele olha pro lado, quer ser modelo agora. Look at this. You wanna be a model right now.
My coach son of a bitch.